We stand at the edge of a precipice, looking down into the canyon of time. We see the generations that came before us, and we see the generations that will follow. And in the center of this great chain of being stands the parent and the child. It is the most fundamental relationship in the human experience, and yet, it is perhaps the most misunderstood. We look at our children, these small, vibrant mirrors of our own existence, and we wonder why they struggle. We wonder why they rebel. We wonder why the innocence we perceive in their eyes so quickly turns to defiance or apathy or pain. We are quick to blame the world. We blame the schools, the culture, the music, the chaos of the modern age. And to be sure, the world is a storm. But the foundation of the house is not built by the storm. It is built by the architect. And if the house shakes when the wind blows, we must look at the foundation. We must look at ourselves. There is a child inside of you. It does not matter if you are 30 or 50 or 80 years old. Inside the fortress of your adult logic, beneath the armor of your responsibilities, there lives the echo of who you once were. A child who perhaps was never truly seen. A child who was never truly loved, not with the liberating, courageous love of the spirit, but perhaps with the suffocating, anxious attachment of a parent who was also lost. We carry this deficit. We carry this hole in our souls. And then we have children of our own, and unconsciously, without a single word being spoken, we hand them a job description. We look at our sons and daughters and we say, silently, heal me. Be the parent I never had. Be the success I never achieved. Give me the love I am starving for. We do not call it burdening them. We call it closeness. We call it family. But often, it is theft. We are stealing their identity to prop up our own crumbling sense of self. Consider the nature of what we call love. In our culture, we have confused love with need. We think that to love a child is to hover over them, to protect them from every wind that blows, to make them dependent upon us for their very sense of reality. We become like the hovering vulture, circling, waiting, feeding off their dependency. We feel good when they need us. We feel valid when they cannot survive without us. But this is not love. This is a form of spiritual cannibalism. True love is the architect of freedom. True love is the courage to let a thing be what it must be, guided by truth, not by the neurotic need of the parent. To love a child is to prepare them to leave you. It is to instill in them a connection not to your ego, but to the absolute, to the truth, to the moral center of the universe. But you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot lead a child to the center if you are living on the periphery of your own soul. This brings us to the terrifying architecture of the family dynamic. We must speak of the archetypes, the ancient pillars of the father and the mother. These are not merely biological roles, they are spiritual forces. The mother is the earth, the nurture, the womb of creation. But the father, the true father principle, is the law, the boundary, the severing of the cord that allows the individual to stand alone. We live in an age of the absent father. I do not only mean the man who is physically gone. I mean the man who is present in body but absent in spirit. The man who has become, if you will forgive the harshness of the metaphor, a sack of potatoes. He is there. He pays the bills. He is good in the sense that he causes no trouble. But he has no gravity. He has no spiritual weight. He has abdicated his throne. When the father retreats into the shadows of passivity, a terrible burden falls upon the mother. She must now be both the earth and the law. She must be the comforter and the disciplinarian. And she resents it. Deep in her spirit, she knows this is a violation of the natural order. She becomes hard. She becomes controlling. She disciplines not out of calm authority, but out of exhaustion and resentment. And the child watches. The child sees a father who is weak and a mother who is angry. And in this vacuum of true authority, the child's ego begins to swell. It expands to fill the empty space. The child learns that authority is not something to be respected. It is something to be manipulated. They learn that love is a transaction of guilt and power. You see, the child needs to hit a wall. Not a wall of cruelty, but a wall of reality. A wall of calm, immovable strength. When a child throws their chaos against a parent, and the parent crumbles or screams or bargains, the child learns a terrifying lesson. I am stronger than the giants who protect me. And if the child is stronger than the parent, then who will protect the child from the world? This breeds a deep existential anxiety that manifests as rebellion. The rebellion is a test. The teenager who screams, who breaks the rules, who defies you, they are secretly begging for you to win. They are begging for you to be solid. They are knocking on the walls of your character to see if the house will fall down. And if you react with anger, if you lose your center, if you scream back, you have failed the test. You have shown them that their chaos is more powerful than your peace. Let us go deeper into this mechanism of the ego. We must understand that the human being is born as a creature of nature. We are born with survival instincts, with drives, with a self-centered perspective. This is the natural man. There is nothing evil about this in infancy. It is necessary for survival. But the process of growing up, the process of becoming a true human being, is the transmutation of this selfish ego into a spiritual identity. However, most of us are arrested in our development. We are merely tall children. We have grown in body, but our spirits are still trapped in the playground of the ego. We seek validation. We seek applause. We fear rejection. We are addicted to the approval of others, and when we parent from this state, we corrupt the child. Imagine a mirror. If the mirror is warped, the reflection is distorted. If you, as a parent, are a warped mirror, twisted by your own need for love, your own insecurity, your own vanity, then your child cannot see themselves clearly. They see only your distortion. They learn to become what you need them to be, rather than what they are. This creates the conformist or the rebel. The conformist is the child who sells their soul for your approval. They become the good boy or the good girl. They get the grades, they smile for the neighbors, they polish the apple. But inside, they are hollow. They are actors in a play written by your vanity. They have no self. They are merely a reflection of your desire to look like a good parent. The rebel, on the other hand, fights for their life. They sense the lie. They sense that your love is a trap. They sense that your guidance is merely control. And so they run. They run into the arms of the world. They run to the peer group, to the subculture, to the chaos, because even the chaos feels more honest than the suffocation of a home built on false appearances. We talk about bad influences. We worry about the music they listen to, the friends they keep, the culture they consume. And yes, the culture is a sewer. It is scumbag city, wall-to-wall distraction and degradation. But why is the child susceptible to it? A healthy immune system rejects a virus. A healthy soul rejects the lies of the world. If your child is absorbing the poison of the culture, it is because their spiritual immune system is compromised. And it is compromised because there is no true love at home to act as an antidote. I do not mean hugs and kisses. I mean the love that is light, the love that sees. When you live in a home where the parents are centered, where there is a jolly spirit, a spirit of truth and lack of fear, the child prefers that light to the darkness of the world. They may dip their toe in the darkness, they may listen to the noise, but they will recognize it as noise. They will say, "This is ridiculous." They will return to the light because the light is more satisfying. But if the home is full of tension, full of unspoken resentments, full of a father who is hiding and a mother who is seething, then the world looks like a paradise. The drug dealer looks like a savior. The gang looks like a family. The noise of rock and roll sounds like the scream of their own soul being acknowledged. So, what is the remedy? It is not a technique. It is not a book on how to talk so kids will listen. It is a revolution of the self. You must grow up. You must nurture that little kid inside of you, not by indulging it, but by bringing it into the presence of the truth. You must stop reacting. This is the key. When you react to your child's behavior with anger, you are essentially saying, "I am a slave to your actions. You pull the string, and I dance." You are validating their power to disturb you. You are feeding the very ego you wish to dismantle. To be a guardian, you must be like a mountain. The weather changes around the mountain. The storms come, the snow falls, the sun shines. But the mountain remains. When you can look at your child's rebellion without taking it personally, without fear, without anger, when you can simply watch it with a calm, objective eye, you break the cycle. You stop feeding the fire. This is where the concept of meditation or observation becomes practical. It is not about sitting in a lotus position and chanting. It is about finding your center. It is about separating your identity from your thoughts and emotions. It is about stepping back and watching the movie of your life rather than being lost in the screen. When you are centered, you have presence. Presence is power. Have you ever met a person who doesn't say much, but when they walk into a room, the atmosphere changes? They have gravity. They have a vibration of reality. Children and even animals respond to this instantly. They respect it. They feel safe around it. A quote, sack of potatoes father has no presence. A hysterical mother has negative presence. But a conscious parent, a parent who has dealt with their own shadow, radiates a quiet authority that does not need to scream. We must also speak of the dangerous temptation to be friends with our children. This is the disease of the modern age. We want to be liked. We want to be cool. We want to close the generation gap. But the gap is there for a reason. You are not their peer. You are their guide. When you descend to their level to seek their friendship, you abandon your post on the high ground. You leave them leaderless. A child does not need a 40-year-old friend. They need a father. They need a mother. They need someone who is willing to be temporarily hated, in service of what is right. True love is willing to be misunderstood. True love is willing to say no and withstand the emotional storm that follows, without crumbling, without apologizing, without needing the child to smile back immediately. There is a fascinating dynamic that occurs when truth is spoken without malice. We often think that to correct a child, or anyone for that matter, we must be nice. We must sugarcoat it. But sometimes, love is a shock. Sometimes, love is holding up a mirror so clear and so bright that it reveals the flaws in high definition. I have called people pigs. I have called them scumbags. Not to condemn them, but to wake them up, to name the spirit that has taken hold of them. If a man is acting like a pig, and you treat him like a prince, you are lying to him. You are conspiring with his delusion. But if you say, with no hate in your heart, look at what you have become, you are acting like an animal. The shock of that truth can shatter the shell of the ego. It can penetrate where politeness cannot. But you must be right yourself to do this. If you call someone a name out of your own anger, you are just throwing mud. You are just another animal fighting in the dirt. But if you say it from a place of high ground, from a place of observation, calling a spade, it has a ringing quality of truth. It resonates. The person may hate it in the moment, but they cannot forget it. It plants a seed of conscience. We must apply this to our children with wisdom. We do not demean them. We do not crush their spirits. But we must ruthlessly crush their egos. We must not allow the little monster to grow into a big monster. We guard them. We watch them. We let them make small mistakes so they do not make fatal ones. Think of the gardener. The gardener does not pull the plant up by the roots to make it grow. He waters it. He ensures the soil is good. But he also prunes. He cuts away the dead wood. He cuts away the branches that are growing in the wrong direction. He does this not because he hates the tree, but because he loves the potential of the tree. He wants it to be straight and strong. If you are afraid to prune because you are afraid the tree will not like you, you are a bad gardener. You are sacrificing the tree for your own comfort. This brings us back to the ultimate responsibility. The salvation of your children begins with the salvation of yourself. You cannot lecture your children into righteousness. You cannot scream them into peace. You can only infect them with your own spirit. If your spirit is anxious, they will be anxious. If your spirit is resentful, they will be resentful. But if your spirit is whole, if you have found that place of stillness, that connection to the divine source of patience and strength, they will feel it. It is contagious. The world is dark. It is a place of endless seduction and confusion. Your home must be the lighthouse. But a lighthouse does not run around the island looking for boats to save. It stands. It shines. It keeps its glass clean. It rotates with consistent rhythm. The boats see the light and they find their way. Stop running around. Stop screaming at the waves. Tend to the light. Clean the glass of your own perception. Deal with the resentments you hold against your spouse. Deal with the trauma of your own childhood. Forgive your own parents, not because they deserved it, but because you need to be free of the chain. When you cut the chain of resentment to your past, you stop feeding that poison to your future. You stop being the victim and you become the victor. And your children, seeing this victory, seeing this strength, will have something real to emulate. They will not need to look for heroes in the gutter of pop culture, because they will have a hero at the breakfast table, not a perfect hero, not a hero without scars, but a hero who is real, who is present, and who is awake. Wake up. The nightmare of the generations can end with you, but you must be the one to open your eyes.